Welcome to our very first episode of Growth Stories. So, the Growth Stories by Reelo is a podcast where we call leaders from hospitality and retail industry that we absolutely admire, and we go deep with them to uncover the secrets of their success to help you build, launch, and grow your business. Now, today we have with us Mr. Sai Somnath of Radhika's Authentic South Indian Food. Now, Sai is Mechatronics engineer and a second generation entrepreneur for a business that was started by his mom back in 2009. So they started Radhika's from a home in Vastrapur, Ahmedabad with a home delivery system. And now it's synonymous to South Indian cuisine. I'm sure if any one of you listening is from Ahmedabad, you would have gone to Radhika's at least once in your life. Now, under Sai's leadership, Radhika's has successfully opened 4 restaurants, and let me tell you, they're not stopping there. Now, Mr. Sai, welcome to our first ever episode of Growth Stories, and thank you so much for taking time to talk about your journey with us.
Thank you, Rima, and thank you, the team Reload, for providing me with this opportunity to talk with you guys and letting us share our story with you guys.
Absolutely. So let's begin with one most curious question that I have, that how did you actually begin your journey with Radhika? I mean, what were you doing at the time? What was that moment that led you to build this amazing venture of, South Indian restaurant, bring that
Yes.
authenticity to us?
Yeah. So, as you know, I'm a second generation entrepreneur. So, this was started from home. My mom
Hmm.
and dad started it. My mom's name is Radhika, and that's how we got our name.
Oh,
So, so while she had a hobby of cooking food for her society, her neighbors and all, they came up with an idea कि आप बेच क्यों सकते हो? And she was like, yeah, okay, let us try something out of this, and maybe something will work out, and something
right.
might not. And dad had a very stable job of in banks. So किसी को ऐसा कोई आइडिया नहीं था कि इसको कोई बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट करना है.
Right.
And I was still studying in the school at that time. So, so slowly and steadily, when the word spread out कि यार इधर बहुत अच्छा साउथ इंडियन मिलता है, इधर से आप मंगवा सकते हो.
Hmm.
Then we hired our first employee कि किसी को डिलीवरी चाहिए होगी तो खुद जाके देना पड़ेगा, सब लोग आएंगे नहीं. There
Right.
are many things, so many things that came into picture.
Hmm.
Then dad took a VRS. That was a very bold step to take at that time. बैंक की नौकरी छोड़नी है, and then we'll focus on our business itself,
Right.
because the customer reviews were such. And my dad always says one thing कि अगर प्रोडक्ट पे भरोसा हो तो कुछ भी कर सकते हो.
That's
And then
true.
he proves it every day, day in
Hmm.
and day out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then when we were serving from home, there were a group of IIM students who
Hmm.
used to come at our place to eat.
Like at
IIM
home,
place,
at your place,
yeah, at
at
home,
your.
at my home. Yes. So they were not getting any South Indian food at IIM campus.
Okay.
So उन लोगों ने हमें बुलाया था, and then they were like कि हम हमारे यहाँ पे एक जगह है, you should
Hmm.
try it out. And dad was like ये सब कुछ ठीक तो चल रहा है, and we are only two people and two employees are there. And getting into IIM wherein thousand students are studying, and for us to be able to serve to you guys would be difficult for us. And we
Right.
negotiated for with them for 3-4 months, and then finally they convinced us कि यार आपको करना ही चाहिए. And we went into the IIM campus, and
Okay.
from there we got to know यार इसका तो बहुत बड़ा मार्केट है. It is not just 5 डोसा है,
Hmm.
10 डोसा है, और
Right.
छोटे छोटे घर को मील्स सप्लाई करने का. That is
Hmm.
not the whole scenario. The food industry is too huge, and
Right.
that's how we got to know कि नहीं, इसका कुछ फ्यूचर अच्छा बन सकता है, बहुत अच्छा बन सकता है. That is where we started our journey from.
Right. So I'm sure initially it might have been like very difficult. So how did you manage that, making that workflow easier over time? I mean, does it get easier over time? Does it change?
It changes, maybe it gets easier or not. It's a personal call, I would say. But
Yeah.
the way you look at the problem, it changes. अभी
Right.
ऐसा लगता है कोई नए रेस्टोरेंट वाले आके मिलते हैं, and they
Hmm.
tell their problems, and we are like, अरे यार ये तो कुछ नहीं है, अभी तो आगे बहुत है. Like, and then we are like,
Right.
no, you have already overcome those problems, and uh, with you knowing or not knowing it, you have overcome a lot of many problems that people are still facing in your industry.
Right.
And I don't think it gets easier as you go, but it
Hmm.
becomes much more adaptable. You become much more adaptable as you go through it. And we are not from hotel background. I am an engineer. My
Yeah.
dad was a banker, and then my mom is a BCom. So we
Okay.
never did any hotel management in our family.
Okay.
Although we have a lot of consultants and people like you guys who help us through how to do these things, but yeah, that's how it is.
That's good to hear. So
Yeah.
I'm sure consulting and people having good people around always helps. So was there like
Yes.
any bold decision during the journey that you had to take in your earlier days that basically like was the point that led to that growth of Radhika's?
So we were pretty settled at IM, and
Hmm.
we didn't have any outside connection, outside world connection. IM is
Right.
a closed campus,
Hmm.
and people are not allowed inside. तो पहले तो होम डिलीवरी कर रहे थे, फिर आईएम में चले गए, फिर तो फिर कुछ पता ही नहीं चला, दुनिया दुनिया से कट ऑफ हो गए थे.
Right.
And one of the bold decisions that took at that time was कि चलो रेस्टोरेंट करते हैं इस चीज का. We didn't go into more colleges, but we went into a restaurant kind of a game, and it is
Oh,
very different. Both are, one is a canteen type of a sort of a thing, and one is a restaurant setting. So that
okay.
was one of the bold decisions we took. So one of the most bold decisions I would say from an engineering perspective was to implement the software to understand what all things we can do in our systems. Yeah.
Okay. So which software did you implement it first?
So first I made my own software and then we shifted to paid puja. At that time paid
Okay.
puja was not existent and it was
Hmm.
not that good when it came into picture, and then afterwards they have grown rapidly and
Right.
software has become super
Right.
completed. Yeah.
So was it like plan पहले से ही कि colleges में जाएंगे and then you decided to go to like full-fledged
No,
restaurants like you
no, no,
mentioned?
नहीं
नहीं?
है ऐसा कर. Nah,
Okay.
nah. So now I would say कि यार 23 में क्या होगा, I might
Hmm.
have a clue. लेकिन
Right.
टिल 20 या फिर 19 तक तो हम लोगों के पास कोई क्लू नहीं था कि अगले साल क्या करने वाला है. Just go with
Right.
the flow. You felt like you should open a branch, you open a branch. ऐसा. So now we
Right.
have a little bit planning and
Hmm.
strategies and discussion that we do according to the workflow. Yeah.
Right, right. So the next step after opening, like when you open a restaurant, the immediate step is like pricing a food item in your menu. Like that's the
Yes.
very crucial step. It
Yes.
takes a lot
Yes.
of trial and error method. You do not know the exact amount of ingredients, the demand, the
Yes.
profitability, all of that. So, I mean, what was the one effective pricing strategy that you took, anything that you did while maintaining the quality of the product, considering the
Well,
inflation and all the things that are going around?
one of the best easiest ways to do this
Mhm.
is जो हम लोग पहले काफी करते थे, you
Mhm.
pick up competitor के pricing and then you go 20% get 10 or 20% downgrade to yourself, क्योंकि you know
Right,
that you know that they are doing a lot of good job.
right.
So that is one of the easiest ways of pricing this. But when it comes to pricing now, we have an ideal food cost wherein
Mhm.
you point out all the ingredients that you're going to use it. And
Mhm.
ideal food cost is around 30 to 35% for our industry. So according to that, we put our pricing into the picture. And then not only understanding the ideal food cost is important, but understanding actual food cost that will be going into the picture is also important. अपने
Right,
बोलेंगे कि यार इतने में बन जाएगा, but it is not always the case. कुछ
right,
वेस्टेज हो जाएगा, कुछ जाएगा, कुछ खराब हो जाएगा. तो वो जब actual food cost निकलता है, then you decide on the pricing strategy. So better is go low and then धीरे 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 उसको hike करो.
right. So
Don't
do you
go
like
high.
constantly update and change your pricing? Does that work
So
that?
ideally we do it once a year,
Mhm.
but this year I think last year we did it twice because of COVID. We could not do it,
Right,
and
right,
after that we did it twice. Yeah,
right.
so
So,
6 months
mhm.
हम लोगों ने किया था, but normally it is once a year.
Right. So after this Zomato, Swiggy coming in, does that affect the pricing? Like when you guys move to online, like a lot of restaurants did that. Does that
Yeah.
affected the pricing because all of the packaging and all of that goes into, or the pricing strategy remains same over there as well?
No, the pricing strategy always changes in Zomato and
Yeah.
Swiggy.
Mm.
You come up with newer combo items, come up
Mm-hmm.
with newer items that would actually cater into Zomato Swiggy market only. The problem with Zomato Swiggy is whether or not they say tell us the commission rate. It is always around 30%. With all the deductions that they do and all the problems that happen on an operational level basis, it is always around 30 to 32%. So
Right.
the strategy cannot be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the amount of hold, the grip that they have over the market, that we also need to understand that they are now ruling the markets. And
Right.
lot of what lot of restaurants have what they've done is simply put 25% on the prices and then sell it on Zomato and Swiggy. But Zomato and Swiggy are very price sensitive markets right now,
Mm-hmm.
and very discount oriented, if you call it that way. So
Right.
the only thing that they promote is 60% off, 40% off, 20% off. So you have to strategize accordingly and how well you do it according to the times. हम लोगों ने एक
Mm.
बार मेरे को याद है इडली वड़ा 20 रुपए में किया था when Uber was
20,
there.
20
uh,
rupees.
20 rupees, yeah, and on that they were charging me 30% commission, तो 6 रुपए तो उसमें से भी जा रहे थे. So that is what we did. So we did some crazy
Mm.
marketing activities with them as well. Zomato का भी बीच में there was a time when Zomato used to do it for 29 rupees, 39 rupees, 49 rupees, no
Mm.
delivery charges and stuff like that. And they were charging 30% over there. So 14 rupees that I was getting out of it. So not
Yeah.
even the packaging charges. So at that time my thinking was यार marketing में अगर मैं खर्चा करता हूँ
Mm.
so मैं customer को शायद खिला पाऊंगा नहीं खिला पाऊंगा. What
Right.
better way to market my product uh, if I can sell my product itself.
Right.
You know,
True.
अगर मैं आपके घर पे पैम्पलेट
Mm.
भेजूंगा तो कोई उसका मतलब नहीं है. अगर मैं इडली वड़ा ही बेच सकता हूँ और
Mm.
आप मंगवा के खा रहे हो तो मतलब you will eat it. So that can
Right.
be a much better customer acquisition cost if we call it as well.
Right. Right.
So
How we
that
say that giving them a taste, like a taste of it, the experience of it, and then obviously our
exactly,
product is so good that they will order again. उनको अच्छा लगा तो.
exactly.
But
That
20
is.
rupees is something that's very interesting. It's actually a very
So
bold move.
that
20
was
rupees
Uber.
for
That
Uber
was Uber
Eats.
Eats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any other such kind of crazy marketing tactics that you did?
No,
Now
I
I'm
did
very
only.
interested.
I did this with Zomato Swiggy only, and then
Hmm.
we usually have BOGO offers and stuff like that.
Right, right,
Yeah, not we cannot go that crazy when it comes to offline
right.
marketing.
Hmm.
अगर मैंने कल बोल दिया कल से 50 रुपए का डोसा, you don't know how much time you're gonna get. On
Right,
Zomato Swiggy,
true.
you can actually turn it off. कि यार बस हो गया आज का मेरा हो गया मैंने कर लिया आज का
Right,
मजा.
right.
So it is not
That's
possible on
basically in
that.
our control. That's basically in our control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
True, true. So I'll ask you one very infamous question. You know, with all the uh, fast-selling laris and all the dosa and fusion recipes that you see around, a lot of people are doing. So South Indian,
Yes.
I feel personally, is like a very difficult category to be in. I could be wrong though because you are the better judge of it. So how do you
Hmm.
basically maintain that authenticity, that brand perception in people's mind, and how do you maintain that customer loyalty amongst every chota people also coming up with such kind of fusion crazy dosa dishes?
So, यार चीज कैसी है कि फ्यूजन लारीज और ये सब तो आते ही रहेंगे.
Hmm.
We cannot stop
Yeah,
those things.
yeah,
And as far as I am concerned, I am not into that category. We don't serve
right.
those people who are going to laris. Maybe they
Yeah,
do taste at laris,
yeah. But the
but
point was not Lari's basically the thing is that the competition in this particular industry, like South Indian has been
I don't feel there is much
hmm,
of South Indian options that are available
okay.
in the
Hmm,
market in Ahmedabad
hmm,
compared to Delhi, Mumbai. They have a lot
right,
of South Indian options, and all of them are good.
right,
So अभी अहमदाबाद में देखा जाए तो 4 या 5 ब्रांड्स चल रहे हैं साउथ इंडियन में.
right.
And
Hmm,
I think there is scope for more.
more.
And fusion dosas is not something that we have concentrated on till
Hmm,
till now. but उसका market बहुत बड़ा है. People love eating surti
Yeah.
dosas and stuff like that, and God knows when I will be able to do those things.
No, but I love the authenticity that Radhika brings, like the proper South
Yes.
Indian, the rasam, and like I am personally a fan of South Indian, so I love that authenticity. So that was actually one thing. How do you maintain that brand perception? I mean, do you guys do something for it, or it just builds over time?
It just builds over time, if you ask me. So when we started our
Hmm.
restaurant, my mom used to be there at the restaurant itself.
Hmm.
मैं बैठता था, dad used to be there, and we used to make it a point that every customer should talk to us. They
Okay.
should understand where we are from. They should
Hmm.
understand what we are doing, what we can do
Right.
better,
Hmm.
and that develops a connect with the customer. And
Right.
when a guest gets a good connection with the owner himself,
Hmm.
then I don't think the restaurant can go down.
Right. So that customer engagement and personalization actually helps a lot. It actually goes a long way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And they understand the authenticity that we bring into the picture because of
Right.
us
Hmm.
being South Indian, and that's my appetite. Like I
Yeah.
eat dosa in the morning. Yeah, so that is the difference.
How many times a week do you eat dosa in the morning?
Maybe 3 times, 3 to 4 times. Yeah.
3 times a week?
So we have a lot of varieties in dosa as well.
Hmm.
It is not just the dosa that we eat
Dosa,
at the
yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
So there we have adai dosa, pesettu, ragi dosa, and stuff like that.
Right.
It is just
Right.
kind of like roti, bakri bhi hoti hai, and then you have rotla,
Right.
and yeah, so different varieties of things we have. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, so technology. We actually spoke about the first tech paid puja that you guys. So any other technology that you guys are using for Radhika or any technology that helped Radhika?
So one is the loyalty program that Reelo runs. So we
Hmm.
have successfully captured 75,000 customers on Reelo till now.
That's
So we have a
amazing.
huge, yeah, we have a huge chunk of database there, and then we have a HR software
Hmm.
which we use it for internal purposes because Pet Puja is not into that, and that is those are the only things that we are using right now for in terms of technology perspective, and
Right,
others are into the manufacturing and the processing part of it. Software
right,
wise, we are using these only.
right. So basically,
Yeah.
technology does helps any business or a restaurant specifically to grow, you would say,
So
for marketing, for in.
अगर मैं to just give you a
Hmm.
perspective,
Hmm.
अगर मेरे को कुछ marketing campaign चलाना है,
Hmm.
if I shoot it through WhatsApp or
Hmm.
SMS, if you
Hmm.
would say, तो अगर मैं अपने ही customers को मैं shoot करता हूँ,
Hmm.
rather than getting some random database from the
Hmm.
market,
Hmm.
the ROI for the campaign itself increases a lot.
Right, right.
And when that increases, the sale increases for the
True.
money amount spent, and
Hmm.
you also get a confidence in your marketing team as well. Here
Right.
marketing mein, we are strong, we can do it. A lot of times what is happening is when I meet restaurant owners, दो
Hmm.
तीन चीजें नहीं चल रही, they get very what do you call it as disappointed that
Hmm.
marketing in social media, digital marketing नहीं चलता है या फिर कुछ नहीं चल
Hmm.
रहा है. So
Hmm.
that is something which gives you a good perspective about technological front. And getting into technology, we are one of the first to implement all the things that Pet Puja offers.
Okay.
So what happens is there is a resistance from the staff itself.
Hmm.
यार ये तो ऐसा थोड़ा ना होता है, ये तो हम लोग
Hmm.
इतने सालों से यही करते हुए आ रहे हैं.
Hmm.
But the thing that we understand that they don't is it will save time, energy, and you will get results out of it, and you will get reports of those results. कि
Right.
ये किया तो क्या हुआ क्या.
Hmm.
So having a bigger perspective is very important when implementing technology. It is very very difficult to implement a technology into systems that
Right.
are very brick and mortar kind of
Right.
things like
Right.
restaurants.
Right. So how
Yeah.
did you actually overcome that resistance of tech use नहीं करना है मेरे को और हम सालों से ये use कर रहे हैं, like how, because
You just
I've
continuously you just sit on top of their heads. और कोई ऑप्शन है नहीं इसमें. ये तो आज होके ही रहेगा. No matter
Hmm.
how many
Hmm.
galis I am gonna listen from the customers,
Hmm.
मैं
Hmm.
आज ये implement करके ही जाऊंगा. And
Right.
God knows how many galis I've heard till now. मतलब कि जब भी कोई भी गलती होती है, customer comes like, क्या कर रहे
Hmm.
हो? And I'm like,
Hmm.
sir, थोड़ा सा time दे दो, we are working on new technology and it becomes bit hectic at that time. But they understand. When they
Hmm.
also understand कि यार ये हो रहा है and it is
Hmm.
betterment for our service only, then
Hmm.
they also understand and they
Hmm.
help us through it.
राइट राइट
Yeah.
बट ये तो कस्टमर की बात हुई अपने खुद के स्टाफ को बोलना कि आप ये टेक यूज करो
सिर पे
हाउ
ही
हाउ
बैठना है यार, और कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है.
या
जैसे I remember this particularly. There were, earlier we used to
हम्म
these guys used to write it in Hindi.
हम्म
Whatever, अगर मसाला डोसा बोला तो मसाला डोसा हिंदी में लिख
हम्म
के अंदर भेज.
हम्म
Now when the KOT system came in, when paid
हम्म
puja came in, it
हम्म
used to print masala dosa in English. Now
राइट
there is a communication gap कि यार
हम्म
कौन पढ़ेगा ये सब, किसको आता
हम्म
है ये पढ़ना.
हम्म
You stand there. मतलब I used to stand in kitchen for 3-4 hours continuously just
गॉड
to
या
make them explain कि भाई ये ऐसा ही होगा. I can
हम्म
help you through this. I can
या
help you teach alphabets. That is not an issue. But this is how it will be.
राइट राइट
Yeah.
सो what are your future plans for Radhika now? What's next for
So
Radhika?
yeah, so we are coming up with food products. We
Hmm.
will be selling sambar masalas, khirus, and everything under one brand now. And
Hmm.
then we are also coming up with franchisees next year.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
Hmm.
they will come in small, medium, and big models.
Hmm.
And then we are also expanding a lot into catering as well this season.
Hmm.
So we are
And
working on that.
any okay, and any particular thing that helped you divert to the retail? I mean, masalas and all of this is specifically retail part of it. So
Exactly.
yeah. So anything that
So
pursued you to do that?
So people, uh, इसमें कैसा है, the
Hmm.
things that we sell are very unique into the market.
Right.
You're
Hmm.
not getting those directly at any retail store.
Right.
Maybe in South Indian stores, but not into
Hmm.
specifically into the retail stores that we generally go into. So you only supply to the demand, right? So
Right.
yeah, so जब customers आते हैं, guests आते हैं, and they are like, यार तुम लोग ये बेच क्यों नहीं देते हो?
Hmm.
I really want to take this podi home, have it
Right.
with ghee and
Hmm.
rice, and I want to try it at home itself. क्यों नहीं,
Hmm.
तुम लोग क्यों नहीं दे सकते? And we were like, okay, we can sell this, and we
Okay.
don't have big plans for it right now.
Hmm.
It is just like in store. मेरे को सिर्फ products बेचने हैं so that customers take something from
Hmm.
our place and have South Indian feeling at their home as well.
Right. No, but that's amazing because even when we go out, we feel like कि घर पे लेके आ सकते हैं तो because that pori chutney that even Radhika's has is something that we
Exactly.
cannot make at home. That taste is different only. That
Exactly.
authenticity is
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
only. Yeah. I would be your
Exactly.
first
Exactly.
customer. I would be your tester customer that would love to get all the masalas and
Yeah.
pori chutney. Big fan of
Sure.
South Indian and Radhika's both.
You'll get a Reelo notification. I'm pretty sure of it as well. So
Oh yeah, would be
whenever
the
that
first
will
to
be
know.
launched.
Yeah, would be the
Yeah,
first to know. Yeah,
exactly,
and the first to buy.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
one last question that I have. One advice that you have received from someone that moved the needle for you, that that actually made all the difference for you, that you still remember. And one piece of advice that you would want to give our viewers, looking to carve out a niche in this industry.
Yeah. One piece of advice that was given for me early on in the business was never do partnerships. You do it
Okay.
on your own.
Hmm.
No matter what happens, don't bring someone into this operations. This is a very complex restaurant itself is a very complex thing
Hmm.
to manage.
Hmm.
Don't get people into this. And touch wood, I have not yet gotten a partner, and we are doing it as
Hmm.
a family business together right
And it
now.
has worked really well for you.
Yeah, it has worked really well for
Hmm.
me. Yes, exactly. And an advice, uh, लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि रेस्टोरेंट के ओनर्स आर नॉट अप्रोचेबल, दे माइट नॉट बी अवेलेबल टू मीट एंड समथिंग लाइक दैट, बट
Hmm.
वी आर ऑल देयर. कभी भी कुछ भी, एंड always take feedbacks. Like for a
Hmm.
restaurant owner, it is most important to take feedbacks, and Reelo helps a lot in this for me. With the new WhatsApp marketing program,
Hmm.
I was talking to Parin the other day कि ये बहुत अच्छा कर दिया है. Okay,
Yeah.
whenever the customer goes out and he gets a WhatsApp notification, please give us a review. And working on those reviews only, that we have developed this much. And
Right.
we call that customer, we talk to them, and we understand what went wrong and what we can do in the future to make it a better process or better thing to be managed. Yeah,
Right. So basically, always listen to your customers. I think that applies to each and every industry.
exactly.
Yeah.
But especially for me, it does
Yeah.
work very.
Yeah. I think the one piece of advice that I took away from our this chat and talk was to be persistent. You know, the way you said, stand at the head, to never give up from your journey from moving to a college canteen to actually a restaurant. I think just being
Exactly.
on ground, being persistent is something that really helps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been 13 years now, and cheers to more 50 years now. Then, yeah.
13 years. Many more to come. Many more to come.
Many more, many more to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many more to come. Okay, so we are at the end of the talk, and thank you, Sai. Thank you so much for taking time out and talking about your journey. We overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And this was the first ever Reelo Growth Stories episode that we started with you, and very glad to have you on board with us.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you.